All right, welcome back, everybody. As we wait to jump back live in Arizona in the Mark Gooch trial, we're continuing to break down all of the top true crime stories in the headlines, which brings us to a case out in Idaho of Chad Daybell. Daybell, a self-proclaimed prophet, is facing numerous charges alongside his wife, Lori Vallow Daybell. And the Daybells are charged with multiple crimes, including conspiracy to commit murder and first-degree murder. Now, this is quite a twisted web, so if you're unfamiliar with this case, please bear with me. The charges stem from the deaths of Vallow Daybell's children, 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow and 16-year-old Tylee Ryan, as well as the murder of Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell. Now, Daybell was virtually back in court yesterday to address a motion for change of venue. Both parties agree to a change of venue. However, where that place should be is still at question. During the hearing, a sheriff by the name of Len Humphreys was asked to testify. And the defense, while trying to underscore that their client would not be able to get a fair trial in Fremont County, questioned the sheriff about postings he made on his personal Facebook account. Let's take a look at how that went.
So do you have access to your Facebook account, and have you deleted anything since June 11th of 2020? Because I'm looking at a Facebook posting with your name on it, dated June 11th of 2020, and it's your picture. And it's obvious that there are images on there that are regarding the Daybell case. Do you dispute? If I could finish, Mr. Wood, are you
I'll let you finish.
That took place?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the form of the question. I'm going to ask that we go into a breakout room, that Mr. Humphreys be shown this exhibit rather than be browbeaten about something that he doesn't know what Mr. Pryor's talking about.
Do you have a copy of the posting you're concerned about, Mr. Pryor?
I have a copy of several postings, Judge, and if you want to go into a breakout room and have a shared screen, we can discuss all of them.
Well, I think that is appropriate for him to be able to view those versus testifying about them. So in order to avoid inflammatory material being broadcast in this proceeding, we still will be on the record. The court will consider sealing portions of the record if necessary. I'll conduct the further inquiry of the witness in regards to these Facebook posts in the breakout session, which will be still on the record with the court reporter. So, Madam Clerk, if you set up the breakout room, we'll do that.
I don't know how many people follow my Facebook page.
Okay. Well, you agree with me that you know how Facebook works. You send an image out to the people who follow you. And not only does it go to the people that follow you, it goes to the people that are on their accounts as well. Does it not?
I couldn't answer as to how Facebook is that way.
Are you aware that you and Mr. Wood are friends on Facebook?
I was not aware of that, no.
Okay. Do you dispute that you and Mr. Wood are friends on Facebook?
I don't know who all is listed as friends on my Facebook page. I don't spend very much time on there.
But you would agree with me that a sheriff who's involved in one of the biggest cases in the country on his personal Facebook account starts posting images as it relates to an investigation in his county. At the least, you would call that questionable conduct, wouldn't you, sir?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled on those grounds.
You would call that questionable conduct, wouldn't you, sir?
Objection argumentative.
Judge, you already ruled on it.
Well, that's sustained. It is argumentative.
Okay.
The questionable conduct also does not provide any guidance for. If you want to get to the relevance of how many people this may have affected in a potential jury pool, that's what the court's concerned with today, Mr. Pryor.
Right. And that's where I'm going, Judge, is that in Fremont County, you would agree with me, Sheriff Humphreys, that Fremont County is a relatively rural county. Would you agree with that?
That's correct.
And you would agree with me that there's been a significant, in fact, a great amount of press coverage as it relates to this case, correct?
There has been.
And you would agree with me that the press coverage in Fremont County alone has been saturated with a variety of photos, videos, stories from East Idaho News and others, correct?
Numerous outlets.
Right. And you would agree in this small rural community with that amount of significant press coverage and a sheriff who's the county sheriff in that, you don't think that you posting things about the Vallow Daybell case has an impact on some of the citizens of Fremont County, Sheriff?
I don't know what impact would be I do not know what impact that would have.
Okay. but you would agree there'd be an impact, right?
There could be.
Okay. And you would agree that it was probably a bad choice to post things about Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow on your Facebook account. You'd agree with that, right?
I do agree with that.
Okay. So in other words, you were at least, and Sheriff, I don't want to berate you and beat you up, but it's not the point here. But what I'm concerned about is that Mr. Vallow or Miss Vallow and Mr. Daybell get a fair opportunity. And you would agree with me that the amount of publicity has been significant. And as the sheriff of this county, contributing to that, however it's gauged, only adds to the media attention and the postings that are increasing the amount of attention brought to this case in Fremont County. You'd agree with that, right?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled.
You would agree with that, Sheriff, correct?
I should not have done that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
correct.
now, Jenvin, I'll start with you. This whole issue about whether or not it's actually going to be moved to another county, or would it stay in the same county and maybe get a jury from another county that's sequestered and brought in, hasn't been resolved by the judge. It'll be resolved at a later date. But what you see the defense doing is saying that this sheriff who's involved, my understanding, the content of those posts included pictures of the children, maybe the arrest, a vigil. Is that problematic? Does the defense have a point here that this could taint a potential jury pool?
Well, I think the defense has a point here in that in a small community, in a rural community, with a case that's getting a lot of press coverage, if it's just the sheriff is a pillar of the community, for example, it could actually poison the jury pool depending on what those posts say. If those posts are already poisoning the potential jury pool and making the case hard to choose an impartial jury from, then that is incredibly problematic. So I would really rest it, though, on the content of the actual posts, on what was said, and it depends on exactly what the sheriff was getting at when he was posting those messages.
Yeah, I wonder if him under cross-examination in front of a jury, what that might look like. Julie, what do you think Judge Boyce is ultimately going to do here? Is this the right decision to move this to another county? I'm not sure that would limit, would another county not know about this case? You just heard John Pryor say it's the biggest case in the country. You'd assume everybody knew about it. Do they bring in another jury and sequester them? What do you think the judge should do here, Julie?
It's a tough one. Is it safer to move it to another jurisdiction and then have a jury pool from that jurisdiction listen and hear the case than having them come back to the very place that the incident allegedly happened? Yeah, I think it's probably a better move. I think in both situations, you're going to have jurors that know much about it. But in the scenario where you're dealing with the community, you must realize there might be more likely to be people of the community hanging outside the courthouse, expressing their opinion, things like that, that could even taint a jury that came from outside of the jurisdiction. Again, I think it's a tough call for the judge because no matter what you do, the juries are going to know about it. I think the real question is, can they be impartial and fair? And I think getting a jury much further away and sequestering them is probably the best move, but we'll see what happens.
That's right. We will see what happens. And we know that Lori Vallow Daybell, she's still not competent to stand trial in her own case. So the complexities of this will continue on.
Hi, this is Dan Abrams with exciting news for all of our Law and Crime followers on YouTube. You can now get the live Law and Crime Network with YouTube TV for all of your daily live trial coverage, legal news, expert analysis, and original true crime programs. Subscribe to YouTube TV today and then locate Law and Crime in the channel guide. And for only $1.99 a month, you can add the network to your bundle. Watch Law and Crime every day with YouTube TV. We put you in the jury box.
Of this will continue on.